For those of you gamers that love a fright, there are an abundance of horror games out there from the past few years that have successfully packed that creepy punch, but only a handful flaunt the gory display like the ones we've included for you on our list today. Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Lucy McPhee. Make sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying our creepy content, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we post a new gaming vid. Also be sure to let us know down below which one of these horror games is your favourite. Without further ado, let's jump into our list of the top 10 goriest scary games of all time. In at 10, Friday the 13th. Now we're starting off light in the blood department here with Friday the 13th. This third-person multiplayer game puts you in the shoes of one of the camp counselors at Crystal Lake, or even Jason Voorhees himself. As a counselor, you must do everything in your power to escape from Jason, using tools to fix gens and locating batteries to start up cars located around the map. Meanwhile, Jason will be hunting you down and slaying in the most brutal fashion, using his iconic machete. This game is a bloodbath, and fans have been nothing short of satisfied with the level of violence it offers players. With crushed heads indoors and machetes through the head, it's the ultimate game for gore lovers out there. Gore rating, 7 out of 10. In at 9, The Last of Us. Released in 2013, The Last of Us is a widely popular action-adventure survival game riddled with horror elements. In the game you play as Joel, a smuggler who is forced to escort a young girl across a post-apocalyptic United States that is run rampant with zombie-like creatures. It's a game reliant on stealth, but that does not minimize the horrific nature of it. As Joel, you must take down the hordes of zombies that get in your way using techniques like a brick to the face or smashing heads against walls. Fun stuff. Not only does this gore come from the slaying of zombies, but it's also present in the world you live in, through police shooting infected innocents to up-close executions. The world you navigate brings about a realistic feel in a world completely turned on its head. Gore rating, 7.5 out of 10. In at 8, Fear 3. Fear 3 is a first-person shooter horror game that puts you in the shoes of either the Point Man or Paxton Fettel. In the game, you and your cannibal brother must fight your way through a brutal and bloody nightmare in order to confront your hellish mother. Though the graphics now seem quite dated, the game still delivers one bloody nightmare, and the sound effects are the added ingredient that boosts that scary feeling of the game. The world you navigate through is littered with dead bodies, which, though dead, you can still dismember. Lovely. Not only can you use your guns to blow off the limbs of enemies, but you can also use grenades which offer a tasteful punch of blood to quench that gore thirst. Gore rating, 8 out of 10. In at 7, Until Dawn. I can't say enough good things about Until Dawn. A choose-your own adventure game, this horror gem released in 2015 is nothing short of a bloodthirsty masterpiece. You play as a group of 8 teenagers, yes, all 8 of them, as you attempt to survive the night in a cabin in the mountains while being hunted by brutal madmen. Throughout the game you alternate between all 8 players, making key decisions in order to survive or die. Now it's possible for all 8 to survive, but good luck with that. One wrong button or even slight hesitation can lead your character to decapitation, getting sucked into machinery, eye gouged, or just simply shot. Either way, the game offers unique and bloody ways for each character to meet their end. Gore rating, 9 out of 10. Unless you're one of the fortunate few that keep all their characters alive, in which case, 1 out of 10. In at 6, The Darkness 2. A first-person shooter, The Darkness 2 is inspired by a popular comic book series produced by Top Cow Productions. In the game, players take on the role of Jackie Estacado, the wielder of a brutal force known as the Darkness, which seeks to be released and used in the most brutal ways that take Jackie on a journey to hell. Now, some of the death montages floating around online are nothing short of wonderfully grotesque. From being impaled by monstrous creatures to having your ribcage ripped open, there are many ways to kill or be killed in this hellish nightmare. Take a look for yourselves. Gore rating, 8 out of 10. In at 5, The Evil Within. The Evil Within is a third-person survival horror from the peeps over at Bethesda, and as always, they did not disappoint. Released in 2014, the game centers on Sebastian Castellanos, a detective thrust into a deranged world full of nightmarish monsters and terrifying locations. You must fight for survival using melee, guns, and stealth while tackling horrifying enemies in order to uncover the truth behind a series of grisly murders and an evil force behind the gruesome murders of several officers. The game does not shy away from gore, depicting torture and murder at every corner. You can dismember enemies, whether through decapitation or just removing chunks of flesh, as well as plenty of head smashes to float your boat. If you're a fan of gore, The Evil Within has everything you need to enjoy a nightmarish bloody battle between good and evil. Gore rating 8.5 out of 10. In at 4, Outlast 2. If Outlast fans thought nothing could possibly top the disturbing and brutal world that the first game brought, well, think again. Outlast 2 really takes the cake. Set in the backwoods of Arizona, you play as Blake, a journalist whose helicopter crashed into the mountains and must now embark on a torturous journey in search of his pregnant wife. Simple enough, right? Well, your mission takes you into the heart of a village populated by a cult that believes the end of days is upon them. As a player, you have only a camcorder to document your experience as you use stealth to sneak around the monstrous beings inhabiting the town, who are seeking to kill you in the most gruesome ways. And spoiler alert, the end is a sight to behold. Throat slits, blood, childbirth, babies, boom. Gore rating 9 out of 10. In at 3, Resident Evil 7. Now those who believe Resident Evil 4 takes the cake for the goriest Resident Evil game of all time, I disagree. Not only is Resident Evil 7 a bloodthirsty sequel in a gory franchise, but it's just damn terrifying. You play as Ethan Winters, who, like our previous, is searching for his missing wife. That never ends well, folks. Ethan must navigate the Baker house using any weapons he can find along the way, from flamethrowers to chainsaws. You better be well equipped when taking on the plagued beings known as the Molded, who are hunting you and holding your wife captive. At one point in the game, your character is required to open the fridge, and it is then that you come face to face with an incredibly gruesome, mutilated head containing a clue that furthers your journey in the game. However, Japan thought this was a touch too far, and in their version removed the aspect of the game, opting to just include the clue without the head. No fun, Japan. Gore rating 9 out of 10. In at 2, Manhunt. Oh, Manhunt. As arguably one of the most graphic and gruesome horror games coming out of Rockstar, surprise surprise, this game puts you in the shoes of James Earl Cash, a death row prisoner forced to participate in a series of snuff films. I mean, with a description like that, it's bound to be filled to the brim with gore and violence. After being saved from death, you as the player are now being hunted down by deadly enemies who care only about taking life away from others. The game is revolved around the sport of blood. While maneuvering through Carcer City, you must take down the individuals who are after you in brutal ways that make GTA look like a family-friendly game. Using chainsaws to dismember and knives to slay, the game is ultra realistic and doesn't shy away from displaying all the horrific ways there are to kill an enemy. Gore rating 10 out of 10. And finally, in at number 1, Dead Space. Now, we couldn't have a gory horror list without including arguably the most horrific and terrifying game of all time, Dead Space. To quote Alt Press, think of it as the Alien film franchise but on speed. Do I have your attention now? Released in 2011, Dead Space is a sci-fi survival horror game with the protagonist Isaac Clarke at its helm. You're forced to fight your way through a horde of monsters called necromorphs while you explore a mining starship that has become overrun by alien life forms. The combat style of the game is labelled as strategic dismemberment. Lovely. As a player, you must dismember as many necromorphs as possible to avoid death and escape the starship you're aboard. The game doesn't abide by the shot to the head and you're dead type style of slaying, but instead you must mutilate and dismember using tools like plasma cutters and rotary saws for optimal gore. Gore rating 11 out of 10. Well, there we have it. What did you guys think about Gory List? Have you played any of these games? Let us know your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you're a fan of horror games or just gaming in general. If you want to continue on your gaming binge, make sure to hit that playlist floating above. And until next time, see you later.